Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Late Night Show with Dr. Kojo. I'm your host, Dr. Kojo, and tonight we're talking about 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. And speaking of mistakes, I forgot to edit the title of my live stream to say that I will be in Houston, Texas on the 26th of April at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. So I'm supposed to be promoting the tour as well. So let me add that to the title. Come see me live in Houston, April 26th. I forgot to add that part. Just a little mistake. A little mistake, ain't nothing too crazy. All right. So and I'm gonna add that to the title on Facebook as well. There we go. Well, that's LinkedIn. But now Facebook too. Awesome. Go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you all are checking in from. Leilani, good to see you. Our moderator is live from New York City. And she's checked in. Our LinkedIn doesn't, yeah. You can't add titles on LinkedIn. I should have known. 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. If you are new here, my name is Kojo Sarfo, and I'm going to put y'all on game. These are mistakes that I have made in my life. I'm not just talking at y'all. I'm talking to y'all, and I'm letting y'all know what I've done in the past. I made these mistakes, so that way, Dr. Kojo, so that way y'all don't have to make the mistakes. Dr. Kojo went and did it, so that way y'all can just enjoy life. LinkedIn doesn't, whatever. All right. Okay. Whatever. LinkedIn. Nah, this is wow. All right. So the title is updated on, there we go. I was about to take the LinkedIn off of the stream list, but we're good. Steps that do the happy dance. Okay. Somebody's feeling good. I'm feeling great. I am feeling great. Let me reply back to an assistant real quick. Can you call? I'm on the live stream. I'm talking to my people about the top neurodivergent dating mistakes. And guys, I have a list of actually 10 mistakes, and I'm looking to split these into 2 live streams. Today's and also the one on Thursday. But there are more than 10 neurodivergent dating mistakes. There's more than 5. There's more than 10. There's a lot. But this is a list that I came up with. Lauren on TikTok, I appreciate you. Go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where y'all are checking in from. I know we have New York City in the house. Lauren, I just clicked her profile. She's from West Virginia. Somebody saying don't date neurotypical. Okay. All right. And Tiffany says, finally get to see you live. Hey, from Chicago. Tiffany from Chicago. I will also be in Chicago June the 18th. So June 18th, we'll be in Chicago. June 11th, we are in New York City. May 31st, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. And April 26th, we are in Houston, Texas. The tickets have been moving really well. And I'm so grateful for your attention. I'm so grateful for people who have gotten the tickets to come out to the comedy show. And I'm hoping that y'all, get some more folks to come on out. This is going to be a great night of comedy. 4 amazing nights of comedy. And we're going to add more cities to this schedule. People are talking about Oklahoma City and Seattle and Kansas City. We'll add more cities. So don't worry, we will add more cities. Shay's birthday is June 11th. Okay. That's a great day, Shay. That's a great day. Shay is checking in from Arkansas. Shay, happy to have you here. Benita checking in from Netherlands. Neurodivergent here. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the family. Tracy from Dallas, Texas. Ruth from San Antonio, Texas. Britt from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay. England in the house, 143. Berlin, Germany in the house. We have an international audience. I'm looking on TikTok. We have folks checking in from Perth, Australia, Uganda, Africa, London, Lib, we have an international reach. It's very cool for me to do this. Super cool. Lib, I appreciate you. Salt Lake City, Nova Scotia, Canada, Wisconsin, West Virginia, New Mexico, Chicago. Okay, people checking in from all over. People are checking in from all over. France, Virginia, Vietnam, South Africa. People are checking in from all over the world to learn about these 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. Denmark in the house, Rochester, New York. I would love to come to Rochester at some point. Little Rock. So we have 2 people from Arkansas. Cecilia, Shay. March 10th is AKA Super Mario. Did not know that. Roxy checking in from the UK. Okay. I like your live stream. I like it too. Laura's checking in from Houston, Texas. Laura, we have a comedy show coming up in Houston, Texas, April 26th at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. Now I'm looking for my neurodivergence to come out. It's going to be a neurodivergent night of fun. It's going to be a neurodivergent night of fun. So I'm excited to see y'all. This is my family. My family. My family. My family. Okay, Shay, I see you're welcome here in this family. Columbia in the house. Okay. But Benita says, yes, I'm single. I'm curious. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the live stream started then. You're single, you're curious, you want to know. So let's go ahead and get the live stream started. Go ahead and like the live stream, share it to a couple of friends, get the numbers up so that way people can see what we are doing here tonight. All right. So I have a list of a couple of dating mistakes that neurodivergents tend to make. And you don't have to be neurospicy to make these mistakes. Okay. Anybody can make these mistakes. But I feel like if you're neurodivergent, there's a good chance that you probably make these mistakes a bit more than other people. All right. So we're going to get right into it. All right. And these are not in any particular order. All right. They're not in any particular order. All right. I just want to say that there's no number one mistake. No. All right. These are just how I wrote them down. All right. Now, this is a big one right here. This is a big one right here. And I think it's a very timely one. Number 1, top neurodivergent dating mistakes. Number 1, staying home and isolating. All right. And I can relate to this on the personal level. If you are at home and you isolate yourself away from other people, what is the chances? What are the chances that you're going to meet somebody? It's pretty low because you have to go outside of the house to meet people. All right. And I know that this goes without saying, but I have to say it regardless. You have to leave the house in order to meet people. If you don't leave the house, you cannot meet people. Now you can be on the phone and you can go through the dating apps and, you can do that. There's no shaming of people who prefer to use the apps. But at some point, inevitably, you have to meet the person that you've been texting on the dating app. So if you don't leave the house, you cannot meet people. And we live in a world where you can DoorDash food to the house. You can Instacart groceries. You can call an Uber. You can get stuff sent to you next day, sometimes same day on Amazon Prime, depending on where you live. You can press a button at 7 a.m. By 11 a.m., that thing has been delivered to your house or place of residence. That's wild. It's very convenient. And we like the convenience. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love the convenience. I love it. I love it and I love it and I love it. But if you are somebody who is looking to get out of the house and meet people, the first step is you got to get out of the house. And I'm looking at the comments and people are saying that when you go outside, there's people. And somebody's saying that I'm in a relationship with Instacart. We like the convenience, but it's going to be very difficult for you to meet somebody if you don't leave the house. Now, I get it if you're an inside person. Like, I'm an introvert. I want to be at home. It's all good and well. But if you're actively looking to meet people, you have to leave the house. And I actually think that leaving the house is better than being on a dating app. I'm not on a dating app, but I think that if you get out and you make organic connections with people, that's the best way to meet somebody. You have to leave the house first. You have to leave the house. And Catrice on TikTok is saying, let it happen naturally, period. Right. But there's no way to let it happen naturally if you're not leaving the house. So, number one, you stay at home and you isolate. So, this prevents you from meeting your people. Now, if you leave the house every now and then, you might find somebody who also wants to be in the house with you. And then, all right, we can make magic. But you do have to leave the house in some capacity. Mac, tonight's topic is 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. 5 neurodivergent dating mistakes. Bam Adebayo has 72 points. I'm not sure if I believe that. It's probably capped. What's introvert mean? Somebody put introvert. I'm extroverted with introverted tendencies. You gotta leave the house. You have to leave the house. All right. So apparently Bam Adebayo has scored 72 points. That's crazy. That's crazy. Christian saying app sucks. Agree with getting out. Find a hobby or a class where you find somebody Christian, this deserves a love of the show right here. A love of the show. If you can find your way out of the house and go to a painting class, if you can go to a knitting class, if you can go to a place where you can find people who are doing the things that you enjoy, that would be a great place to go. If you're into Pokemon trading cards, do they have any meetups within your city where you can hang out with other people who enjoy Pokemon trading cards? How can you put yourself in an environment where you can find more people who are similar to you in terms of interests? And at some point, if you're dating somebody, the values are very important. If y'all don't see eye to eye on the majority of things, it's not, it's probably not going to work out. But in the beginning, you have to have some type of mutual interest. You have to be, attracted to the person. But none of this is going to happen if you stay inside the house. You got to leave the house. Some way, somehow, we have to leave the house, open up the front door, put on our shoes. Well, we should dress up before, right? Put something on, leave the house. Now, this is where the magic happens. The magic happens outside of the four walls of your house. All right? So you got to get out of the house. Now, Leilani said that she sold a Pokemon card for $2,000 once. That was worth leaving the house. That is worth leaving the house. And those cards are very expensive. I didn't know how big of a world that is, but Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, depending on what you have, depending on what you found in the pack, those cards can be sold for a lot of money. So, I mean, if you can make some money from, selling a card or two, I'm with it. Dog parks, if you're a dog person, the gala, I'm weak. Dog parks, having a dog is a great way to, initiate a conversation with somebody. Oh, what type of dog is that? Oh, it's a Yorkie mixed with a Shih Tzu or whatever. This is a Border Collie mixed with a German Shepherd. You ask people what type of dog they have, they go into all these details. Oh, this is a mini Australian Shepherd, and she's a runt of the litter. That's what she's so. You gotta ask people about their dogs, and this is a great way to. Dogs are one of the best, icebreakers of all time. Dogs. And Northern 55th says, "I attract trouble. Does that count?" What do you mean you attract trouble? What do you mean? What do you mean you attract trouble? How can you be so sure? All right, let me see what else is on my list. Ooh. Number 2 right here. Number 2. And actually, some of these, I'm going to adjust some of these around because some of them I like more than the others. All right. Number 2, missing flirting cues. Now, this one is pretty specific to the neurodivergent community. There are some neurotypicals who miss flirting cues, but this is a big, big problem within our community. Missing the flirting cues. All right. So let's say you got the courage, not liquid courage. All right. That could work, but you got the courage to leave the house. You managed to take a shower, wash your face, clean up nice. You put some pants on, you put your shoes on, you grab your keys, and you found the energy to leave the house. You left the house and you went to a painting class because you like to paint. And when you went to this painting class, you met a lot of really cool people, including some people that you were also attracted to. You looked over the corner, you're like, damn, Shawty bad, but I don't know if she likes me or not. But she's talking to you. She's talking to you. Y'all having great conversations, but you don't know that this person is flirting with you because they're not making it painfully obvious. So let's just say the person is flirting with you and they're trying to shoot their shot a little bit. Now, I'll just speak from the perspective of a straight male. A lot of women don't want to be rejected. So they're going to put the ball in your court for you to make the first move. So that way, like you can make the move and they don't have to make the move. So let's say she does everything that she can to show that she's flirting. She's tossing her hair like this. She's like being really friendly. She's like really giggly. You still don't know what's going on because you're not sure if this person is just being nice or maybe they could be flirting. And until they make it painfully obvious, they have to damn near propose to you before you know, oh, she's trying to holler. Oh, she's trying to holler at me. I mean, she should have just told me that I should take off my pants, right? Missing the signs of flirting. Missing the signs of flirting. And Tanisha says, I'm not getting it until they're basically on one knee. Yeah, so Tanisha is at this painting event, and she's talking to a guy named Johnny. Tanisha and Johnny, there's some tension there. The vibes are good, but Johnny hasn't gotten down on one knee to propose. So Tanisha is confused. Now, he shouldn't propose because they just met, but she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. So she leaves this event and she goes home and she doesn't get Johnny's number and Johnny doesn't have her number. But at home, she's thinking about, dang, that guy was pretty cool. He was pretty cool at the paint and sip, but I never got his number. And he's like, hey, I tried my best to flirt with her without being too pushy. I didn't want to be too pushy, but she didn't get the hint. And this right here, I don't have an answer to this, but I wish I did. Okay. If you like somebody, it should be acceptable to say, I like you. I think you're attractive. It should be acceptable to be that direct, but we don't do that. You have to kind of go around, beat around the bush and be like, you know what, I think they're cool. Yeah. How direct do you want me to be? Be very direct. Be very direct. And this is live right now. This is live. And Jacqueline, I think that, so there's no rule that says you can't be direct, but people are going to be a little weirded out if you are that direct. All right. Because in the neurotypical society, which is the world that we live in, we're not used to people being that straight up. Most folks aren't straight up like that. So if you are straight up, you're going to make somebody feel a little uncomfortable. I'm high functioning, dating high functioning. We are very direct. So see, Ashley, great situation for Ashley. Ashley found somebody who's also high functioning. So because they're very direct, look at all the trouble that was saved. Look at all the trouble that was saved. And I do think, I'm going to click on Chase's comment here, but I do think that there is an advantage to being a woman in this situation, because as a guy, if you are direct, so for my autistic fellas out there, for my ADHD fellas out there, if you're too direct as a guy, you have to be, how do I say it, a bit worried about being placed in that creep category. Because, I'm assuming you're talking to a woman here. If you're talking to a woman, women think about safety first and foremost. So if you're, if you come and you shoot straight from the hip, you're like, hey, I like you. I think you're attractive. And I think we should, I like to get your number. That it's a 50-50. If it works, it works. All right. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But because of how things are in the landscape today, you do have to be a bit mindful of how the situation is. Now, if you're in a place where, let's say you are at the paint and sip class and there's other people around, it's a little bit better, because that way she doesn't feel like, she feels a bit safe. But if it's just a one-on-one situation, I think if you are going to be that direct with a woman, it can be helpful to, say, hey, I know this could be a little bit weird, and I don't mean to, scare you here, but, I do think that you're attractive, and I was wondering if you're single. You have to, unfortunately, just clarify and let her know that you're not a creep, first and foremost. And you can say, hey, I'm on the spectrum. I'm neurospicy. So I don't know if this is how you're supposed to be doing it, but this is just, I'm trying to shoot my shot. I be in the gym, Mac. I be in the gym. Morgan, I appreciate you. And Brad says, I wish I could find me a woman with autism. Brad, there's a lot of women out there with autism. I'm not sure where you're at or where you're looking, but there's a lot of women out there with autism. But they're probably inside the house. And, once again, that was number one. Staying inside too much. So there's a good chance that your person is inside the house hoping that they can find their person, and you're also inside the house. How will y'all meet? The only logical answer that I can think of is a dating app. And dating apps have they have their pros and cons, but there is some benefit to dating apps. I don't want to act like they're the worst thing ever, but there is some some pros to dating apps. Kinley went to buy tickets for Nashville and VIP sold out. Well, is Nashville sold out? Really? I'm gonna check with my promoter right now if the Nashville show is sold out. I don't think it is. The tickets are moving really fast though. So link in the bio for tickets to my comedy shows, Houston, Nashville, New York City, and Chicago. But I don't think that they're sold out. Let me ask my promoter. Hey, I'm checking to see if there are still tickets available for the show. Someone is trying to buy, but it says that they're sold out. I still believe that we have some tickets left for the shows, so I'm excited. I'm gonna get a lot of sleep. I can't wait to meet every single person. So go ahead and get those VIP tickets. I can't wait to meet y'all. I can't wait. Kinley, hang tight. I hope to meet you in Nashville. I hope to meet you in Nashville. John is coming to the Chicago show. John, I can't wait to meet you in Chicago. And my promoter texted back super fast. He said, let me check. There we go. Let me check. Awesome. And look, when we're at the shows, this could be a good place to meet your person. Okay. If you're single and you're neurospicy and you're looking for your person and you're in Houston, you're in Nashville, you're in New York City, you're in Chicago, you can't tell me that there isn't at least one person in your city that, you wouldn't vibe with. Those are 4 big cities. Those are 4 pretty big cities. There's somebody out there for you. There's somebody out there for you. They'll have VIP available. Yeah, I'm checking on that, Kinley. So hopefully we have those VIP tickets still there. I hope to come to DC as well. We will add more cities. Syracuse, we'll add more cities. Don't worry. And Justin says that's a real struggle. How do you meet someone who also doesn't want to ever leave home? I guess that's why I fall into the trap of people pleasing and get into the wrong relationships when I do decide to go out. So here's the thing with people pleasing. If you care a lot about what people think of you, you tend to do things that turn people off. But once you care less about what people think about you, for some strange reason, that's when people all of a sudden want to like you. But people pleasing is something that you see a lot in this community because a lot of us have that trauma from childhood when we were desperately trying to gain our parents' affection and their attention. So people pleasers, if you're an adult today and you are a people pleaser, there's a good chance that this goes back to your childhood. And if you don't catch one of these patterns, you grow up and then you find yourself in a relationship that you don't want to be in. So it tends to go back to, it goes back to when you're a kid. It tends to go back all the way to, those formative years. Chase, I'm excited for Houston too. Houston's going to be a great, great, great show. Yes, we're coming to Chicago, June 18th. We're not yet, but we will be going international. Not yet. And actually, I know that we are streaming live on Facebook, and I'm not being paid by Facebook to say this. However, I have had a couple of people tell me that Facebook dating is one of the better dating sites or profiles. So I don't know anything about Facebook dating at all. I have no idea. I'm active on Facebook as a content creator. I post my videos on there. I check Facebook all the time, but Facebook dating, I don't know what it's like. But I've heard very good things about Facebook dating. All right, so I've heard good things about it. Good things about it. And Kenny says, I'm bringing my husband. He probably won't understand a word. Diagnosed at 54, 4 months ago. Kenley, tell him to come up. Tell him to come through to the show. Tell your husband, Kenley, I'd love to see you and your husband come on through to the show. And you don't know that he, like he could understand. If he's neurodivergent, he's gonna have a great time. He's gonna have a great time. But yeah, Facebook dating, guys, I've heard good things about it. So I don't know how specific you can make it, but I think you can. Actually, I don't know. But if you're neurospicy and you don't want to leave the house, give Facebook dating a shot. I found my husband through a mutual. I don't know what that word means. Than me. A mutual friend, probably a mutual friend. I'm assuming that that's what you said. And Denise says, don't do it. Ashley says, I met my boyfriend on Facebook dating and found out we worked together, which helped us have something to talk about. So they're at the same job, but they never met each other, but Facebook dating connected them. We started talking in December and finally met up in January and started dating in February socially. Don't rush it if you find someone neurospicy because it helps. Congratulations. Congratulations. And on TikTok, Danny's saying Facebook dating is really good. Simple. You have to like each other. Okay. Guys, Facebook dating. Facebook dating. Wow. Okay. So I'm hearing really good things about Facebook dating. That could be where it's at. I'd love to come to Georgia by the end of the school year. Lavita, welcome to the chat. All right. So number 1 was staying at home and isolating. Number 2 was missing flirting cues. All right. Now, this one right here. This right here is definitely something that we can relate to. Assuming rejection too quickly. So one thing about us, neurospicy folks, we don't like rejection. We don't want to be rejected. So we go out of our way to avoid rejection. And if one thing happens that you're unsure of, you'll take it as a sign of rejection. Now, let's say you are at this paint and sip event and you see Shardy in the corner, or you see a guy in the corner and you like him. Maybe they gave you a look, or you asked them for their name. And when you ask them for their name, instead of them making eye contact with you, they looked down and they gave you their name. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they were trying to multitask, but you assumed that they're not interested because they told you their name while they were looking down. So you took that as a sign of rejection. So now you just stopped. You didn't go any further. All right. The thing about success in anything, whether it's dating, whether it's getting a job, whether it's working towards a certain goal, success is going to be full of failures stacked up one by one. You fail enough times and you fail forward, and guess what? Then you find your person. You keep failing, you find a job that works for you. You keep failing, then you get better at your craft. You can't get better without failing. So in order to find your person, you're going to have to go through some awkward situations, and you're going to have to get rejected. I hate that ring sound. I hate that sound. All right, Chase, I'll see you at the show. You have to withstand rejection in order to succeed. So that's the difficult thing about, especially when it comes to dating. If you take it as if the person doesn't like you, you'll never give it a shot again. You will never give it a shot again. All right. So just understand that rejection is a part of success. All right. Rejection is a part of success. Kinley is saying, my long line of losers. And Rachel says, I sometimes think someone is flirting more versus them just being nice because I miss so many cues. Going back to the previous one, that could be a thing. When you miss a lot of cues, you may take somebody who's being nice as flirting. Danny says, why do women stare but never say anything to you? I feel awkward, or do I stand out in a bad way? Danny, I don't know. Women could be staring at you because they want to holler, but they want you to holler at them first, especially if they've been staring all night. Especially if they've been staring all night long. All right? So assuming rejection too quickly is a big dating mistake. Now, this fourth one right here, I think that we've all been guilty of this sometime in our lives. Oversharing too early. Oversharing too early. Guys, when you meet somebody, you're not supposed to tell them everything about yourself. And when you meet somebody who's neurospicy, all right, just like you, and the connection is so rare, you get this warm feeling, this warm fuzzy feeling where you're like, man, it's taken me so long to meet somebody just like you. I like you so much. You're a vibe. You like me so much. Oh, let me tell you everything about myself. I want to hear everything about you. You get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I mean, you could start and say, hi, I'm autistic. And if they're autistic as well, I mean, the type of connection you'll make is remarkable. Okay, so the only issue with the oversharing, in my opinion, is that it's too early. You should give it some time before you start letting this person know everything about yourself. And what I'll say is, if you meet somebody and you're vibing with them, let's say you're vibing with somebody off the rip and it's great. Instead of oversharing about things that are, private, overshare about things that aren't so personal. Okay. So let's say you you're really into cars and you got a new Chevy 2 months ago. Okay, y'all have all this time to talk. You went out to the lounge and it was great, and then now you're back at their place or they're back at your place, and you're just talking deep into the night. Talk about the Chevy that you got. Talk about your special interest. Talk about something that's not so personal, because you just don't want to give them the personal, intimate details of your life. And also, if you do that so early, then like, what will you talk about later? You know, like, what will you talk about later? And if you do overshare, if you catch yourself oversharing, all right, don't feel bad about it. Just know that for future reference, you want to be a little bit mindful, a bit more mindful of the fact that you have this tendency. And I like what Lavia is saying right here. You should probably give yourself some rules. Like she says, for example, no family drama or exes discussed. I will say that a common dating question that you'll get, especially on the first date, is why didn't your last relationship work out? So you may vaguely talk about the last relationship, but you don't have to get into details about your ex. My ex was a narcissist, and he did this, and then he was awful, and she was awful, and she. You can keep it, surface level. Surface level. Yeah, it didn't work out. I learned a lot from it. I wish them the best, and I hope that they're doing fine. But I learned a lot about myself and what I'm looking for in the next relationship. And at some point, if y'all get into a deep and committed relationship, you will have to discuss about exes a little bit. Like, you'll get there, but give it some time in the beginning. Just give it some time in the beginning. And when it comes to family drama, yeah, I would definitely keep that, like, rein that in. And even when you are in a committed relationship with somebody, what I find to be helpful is that if you have a therapist, and not everybody has a therapist, but if you have a therapist and you talk these things out with your therapist beforehand, it becomes easier to then go talk to other people, because now you're not giving them all the details. You can give them like a little Spark Notes version without getting so, like, deep, all the granular issues. So give it some time. Give it some time. And Melissa says, stay mysterious. They crave you more. I like that. But a lot of times, Melissa, sometimes you have the intentions of staying mysterious, and you start talking, and then you just catch yourself, you're just talking and talking and talking and talking. And you're like, dang, I blew it. I blew my cover. I was trying to be mysterious, and I just kept talking. I was talking too much. I was talking too much. No deep stuff on negative stuff. Yeah, I like this. Be sunshine and be a little mysterious. Be a little mysterious. And I wouldn't even say my ex was emotionally immature. Like, I wouldn't badmouth an ex on any date. And I think that's a good thing to try to adopt. Now, let's say that your ex-boyfriend really was a narcissist, emotionally mature, like somebody who was like the worst person of all time. They cheated on you 4 or 5 times. It's really hard to be, complimentary of somebody who's actually a bad person. So it makes it a challenge. I challenge myself. Not that I've been through like that situation where, a girl was like cheated 4 or 5 times and been awful. But I challenge myself to say only good things about exes on dates. And depending on who your ex is, this can be a difficult challenge. It's like you're trying to find one thing that's positive. You're like, there's got to be one thing. And you're like, if you catch yourself straining and, really trying your best to find one positive thing to say, I mean, then it probably means that you have a history of dating people that aren't the best, but even saying that somebody isn't the best is a nice way to say that, they were an awful person. He was patient. This is good right here. This is great. This is great. So you're on a date, you can say, oh yeah, things didn't work out. My ex, but they were a good person and they were patient and they tried and I tried as well, but it just didn't work out. And I'm so excited about the future. When you're positive, people can pick up on that energy. It's palpable. People can pick it up and they're like, this is a positive person. I want to be around this person. I want to be around this person. So having that positive energy is very important. Let me see, what number am I on? That was 4, oversharing too early. All right, number 5. This one right here, I'm definitely guilty of. Number 5, not communicating your needs clearly. Okay. Now, in order to communicate your needs, you actually have to know what you need, which is the first issue. You have to know what your need is, and then you have to figure out how to articulate that. So this is like a 2-part problem, because if you don't know what you need, then you don't know how to state what you need. And one thing that a lot of neurodivergent individuals struggle with is this concept of alexithymia, which is emotional blindness. So you don't know what you feel. And by the time you realize what you're feeling, it's like way after the fact. You don't understand how you feel in the moment. You don't know what you need. Your emotions are just so confusing for you to interpret. So if that's the case, then you don't know what you need because you don't know what you're feeling. So this is probably a 3-part process. Do your best to understand what you're feeling. Based off of what you're feeling, do your best to interpret what you need. Once you know what you need, or what you think you know what you need, then how do you articulate this to the other person and say, I'm feeling this, I need this, and this is my best attempt at letting you know that this is what I've been going through, so I'm going to need your help with this. Or I'm feeling really good, I'm feeling great, so I'm in a position where I can help you out. So I need to feel like I'm involved in this relationship. So this is me telling you what I need. So not communicating your needs clearly. Now you have to know what your need is. But once you know, how can you best articulate this to your person? Very difficult. Very difficult. And what we'll tend to do sometimes is we'll just shut down because we don't know how to express ourselves, or maybe we're just so overwhelmed with our big emotions that instead of articulating to your person and letting them know that you don't know what you're feeling, you just avoid them for a little bit. You avoid and you do your best to act as if that thing is not happening, which doesn't solve the problem, but we don't know how we feel in the moment. And that makes it very difficult to articulate what we need. What we need. I just learned what my needs are after doing my healing journey and learning more about myself. I have a hard time explaining to my family what I need. Someone, no, Hattie, it's very difficult to articulate yourself. And sometimes saying that you don't know how to express what you want and need is very liberating. Like just hearing those words come out of your mouth where you're like, hey, I don't know how to tell you what I need. That's so liberating, because then at least they know that you're trying, but you don't know, as opposed to you just avoiding them or shutting down out of embarrassment, just saying, hey, I don't know what I need in this moment, but I do need something. And even asking for help. Hey, how can I get better at this? I don't know how to tell you what I need. A lot of people would prefer that, as opposed to being ghosted or not hearing from somebody. Alone isn't lonely. Figuring out who you are when you're not struggling is key. Yeah. And when will men learn to be able to educate themselves? This is not a gender thing, but maybe in your past experiences, you probably have seen this. So If that's your experience, then that's most definitely valid. But I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's more of a trauma thing, what you've been through, and how best you can, speak up for yourself. Jessica says, "Oh, I actually do say that. I literally say that all the time because I have no idea how I feel." And it's very liberating to say that. We should say this more, especially when we're experiencing big emotions that we have no idea what it is or how to work through it. Just say, "I have no idea how I feel. I don't know how I feel." That that's a is a very brave statement to make, because as adults you feel like you should know, off the rip, but sometimes you don't know. Like you just don't know what you feel. Just saying that. Just saying that. No, this isn't oversharing. I appreciate you. And yeah, no gender war here. No gender war. I don't think it's a man or a woman thing. Just sometimes we don't even know. We don't know how to, speak up for ourselves. And there's a lot of shame around not knowing how to speak up for yourself. So you just kind of shut down. You're like, all right, I'm not gonna say anything. You don't want to address the elephant in the room because you don't know what to say. So I think it's very helpful to just say, hey, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I'm feeling. J9 on TikTok says, I'm trying to navigate a new relationship. Okay. And it looks like Bam Adebayo did score 83 points. What? Like, that's actually a real thing. I thought my brother was pranking me. 83 points. 83 points. Wow, he broke Kobe's record. Wow. Congratulations to him. Wow. I'm just. Oh, yeah. Guys, a lot of this revolves around shame and not knowing how to speak up for yourself. Shame, and almost every, no, not almost, every neurodivergent has some element of shame within them. And shame causes you to suppress yourself. Shame prevents you from speaking up. Shame and guilt, because guilt is not liking what you've done, and shame is not liking who you are. These things make you play small. And instead of, articulating how you feel, it just easier to just retreat and, raw dog it, thug it out on your own, as opposed to saying what the issue is, because we have that deep, broken relationship with shame where we sometimes let it take over. Tommy versus shame and doubt. Facts. Luke, masking. If you want different results, do it differently. Fair. Facts. Rainbow, I'm doing good. I overshare. I tell people to just wish me well instead of asking. Small talk makes me uncomfortable. So if you're asking me how I'm doing, I'm laid out. If you do, so this is another thing that I could have added. This as another dating mistake. When people ask you how you are, it doesn't mean that they actually want you to say how you are. I think a lot of people, especially autistic individuals, fall into this trap where somebody will say, "Oh, how was your day?" And then you start telling them how your day was, and they're like, "Yo, I just asked you how your day was. You're supposed to say fine and walk away. I didn't want like all the details." Right. Most people don't want to know how you're, like, saying how are you is just something that we've been trained to say because it's a nice thing to say. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. It could be the worst day of your life. Your car could have broken down. You could have been fired from your job. You could have lost the $40 in your pocket that you had. Now you just can't find it anymore. I lost $40. I got fired. I'm behind on everything. it's the worst day of all time. But if somebody asks me how I am, I'm supposed to smile and say fine, and then talk about the weather for a little bit, laugh, and then go about my day. Oh, heck no. I'm not having a good day. I'm supposed to lie to you? Unfortunately, you are supposed to lie to people. Unfortunately. Say, how are you, Roll Tide? That's funny. That's funny. My days are usually fantastic unless I have not slept well for days. It's also it's good to understand what your triggers are and when you are the best version of yourself. That's why I wear this Aura ring right here. I track my sleep. When I get a lot of sleep, that's a better version of me. I think I slept like 10 hours yesterday, which is very unusual. So I'm well rested. And I'm probably behind on a couple of things, but I'm well rested. So I track my sleep so that way I know, okay, I've slept. So this is probably going to be a better version of me today. Neurodivergents don't lie. No. Neurodivergents do lie, but I think neurodivergents lie for different reasons. So a neurodivergent person will lie out of shame or out of feeling guilty. They'll lie with the intention of not getting in trouble. You see this a lot with kids. They'll lie, but they're not trying to be malicious. They just don't want to be in trouble. It's like I don't want to get in trouble. So I lied that I took the chicken out of the freezer. You know you didn't take the chicken out of the freezer. You only took it out once your mom. You could hear the keys. Oh no, like I took it out of the freezer, but then I just I forgot to You don't want to get in trouble. That's where you're lying. Now, other people, when they lie, sometimes they can lie because they have a hidden agenda or they're trying to get over on you. So, which neurodivergence could also do. But I really feel like the neurodivergent person who lies is more so to avoid being punished, like right here, to escape confrontation. Like you don't mean it on purpose, but you're lying to just avoid a consequence. So that's what I'll say to that. I'm better with wrestling. This is what made me laugh. And look, we can have a whole live stream on sleep because you'll get to a certain age. If you're not there yet, guys, it'll happen to you at some point. You'll get to a certain age where one night of bad sleep can throw off your whole day. Now, maybe not in your 20s. I think this is like in your 30s type of deal. But one night of bad sleep can throw off sometimes your whole week. I'm at that point now where I got to give myself a bedtime once again, which really sucks. It really sucks. And Sammy says neurodivergents lie for protection and fear of the outcomes. Yeah, I agree. I'll lie when I know I'm going to crush someone's feelings. I'll minimize it. Very interesting. Right, in our 30s. One night of bad sleep. Brad says, I'm 38, can't even get 7 hours of sleep. Guys, you gotta get that sleep. We need bedtimes. My kids can't keep a straight face when they try to. Melissa, this is a good trait for the kids to have, because you know that they're going to be honest with you for the most part. I want to say for the most part. Oh, I'm spot on because I live all of this. I'm not just talking, I know, and telling all things that I read out of a book. I'm right there in the fight with y'all. Been going through horrible sleep for over a month. So horrible. Guys, sleep. We need bedtimes. We need bedtimes. We need bedtimes. And for the people who have autism and ADHD, if you're a part of my community and you have autism and ADHD, that autism part of you that wants to do things the same way at the same time, in the same manner, that part right there is what kind of keeps you in check. All right. And I heard somebody once describe the person who has autism and ADHD in a very interesting way. He said that autism acts as a parent to the ADHD. And I love that explanation. I love it. Autism acts as a parent to the ADHD. Because the ADHD wants to sleep at 3:30. ADHD wants to go, maybe get high at 2 a.m. Like, you want to just do whatever you want to do. You want to just have fun. But the autism is like, no, we need to sleep at 11. And then we have to wake up at 6:30. And then we have to take a shower. Then we have to go to the gym. Because whenever we do things in this same exact way, we feel good. So even though we want to have fun, no, we're going to do this. We're going to sleep at 11 o'clock. We're going to drink our hot chocolate at 11 o'clock, go to bed, take your melatonin. We're going to wake up at 6:30 after getting 7.5 hours of sleep. We're going to take a shower. We're going to go to the gym, and then we're going to go to work. We're going to keep this same routine, because once the routine is thrown off, we don't feel good. So autism, when you have it with ADHD, the autism is a saving grace. It's doing its best to help you out. It's doing its best to, it makes sense, right? It's doing its best to keep you in check. It's doing its best to keep you in check. Trisha says the autism in me gets me to bed at the same time every night. Oh my goodness. Oh, I get this. I get this right here. The autism in you will get you in bed at 10 p.m., but the ADHD will keep you up to 1. Oh, I get that. I get that. I get that. As long as I do all my responsibilities, I get to stay up and play or chill until 2 a.m. Okay, so Lisa, look, here's the thing I'll say. If you have, if you're neurodivergent and you don't have to be up at 7 or 8, and maybe you can be up at 9, and you sleep from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m., and that's just how you do things every night, that can work for you. Depending on what you have to do, that can work for you. Most neurodivergents will have a later bedtime than other people, and it's just how we do things. That's just how we do things. The question is, what do you have to do in the morning? And will that be sabotaged if you stay up till 2 a.m.? So when you're in grade school, you can't really do this because you have to be up at like 6, 7 for school, and even in college, you could have an 8 a.m. lab course. So it may not be possible. And then when you start to work, the job might need you to be there at 7 a.m. So depending on what you do for a living, if you can have a later bedtime, I think that'll probably be more natural to you. Ada, she loves to come out and play. No, it is. It's a constant battle between autism and ADHD. It really is. It really is. And as we're talking about this gives me some ideas for Thursday's live stream, because I'll get inspired, and sometimes an inspiration that I get Thursday morning will have me changing the topic. I'm like, no, we're going to talk about this. But there's so many different advantages to having autism and ADHD. There are a lot of advantages, especially when one can keep the other in check. Because ADHD by itself, I mean, hey, it's like you want to fly by the seat of your pants. But the autism, it gives a hint. I'm thinking about advantages of autism and ADHD at the same time. That's what I'm thinking about. Because if you are autistic and you do everything in a certain way, and you just aren't like the person who's just autistic, very rigid thinking, it's difficult to do anything out of how you normally do it. But the ADHD side of you allows for you to be a little spontaneous. It's like, okay, normally we go to sleep at this time, but on this random Thursday night, we will go out to the lounge and we will go out and talk to people. And we will, that's the ADHD side. We will go outside and we'll actually have a conversation with random strangers. And guess what? You can meet some really cool people. And you know that you don't normally go out. But on this random day, we decide to just leave the house. Oh, let's just see what happens. That's the ADHD side of you. Now, the issue with ADHD is that if you only have ADHD, or if that's your primary condition, and you're always trying to go against the grain or be spontaneous all the time, and you have no routine, you're going to fall into a depression. No routine, no structure. Oh, depression loves to see that. Depression loves the person with no routine. It loves the person with no structure. Like, those are the perfect environments for depression to just take over. So this is why it's important to have some type of structure, some type of routine. And Big Mama, yeah, it's been a while since I posted about bipolar 2. So I have quite a couple of videos to make about bipolar 2, and I see Leilani talking about OCD. There's a couple of other videos that I have had in my mind that I will make. I will make those videos. You know, we're going to talk about autism, ADHD, but there's some more topics that, looking over my notes, I've also been inspired to make some videos about those. So I will do that. And Basan says, what if I get bored from routines? Well, that's why you need a nothing day. Everybody, every person needs a nothing day. Neurodivergent or not, a day where you do nothing, a day where you can go off script. Every person needs that day. Every person needs that day. And yes, we'll definitely have more bipolar 2 content coming out. Oh, Big Mama. I mean, that's her name, Big Mama. Hey, Big Mama. I like that name. I like the layout of the 3 pics in your videos. Oh, and the thumbnail, right, of the autism, ADHD, and ADHD. Oh, yeah, because you're on YouTube. Okay, that's good feedback. That's really good feedback. Big Mama. I have bipolar 2. Okay, all right. So people definitely want that bipolar 2 content. Say less. We can definitely make a lot more bipolar 2 content. Ooh, I'm bursting with ideas. I'm about to hit the gym too after this too, so that's gonna give me a lot more inspiration, a lot more ideas. I have a concussion, so now I'm forgetful too. TBIs, that can definitely impact the memory. Increased. So I thought I made a video about this before, but there's definitely let me put this comment on the screen. And Leilani, yeah, we'll be on for like 5 more minutes because I do have to get to quite a few. Oh, yeah, I have a call. Yeah, I have a call that I have to, make and then go to the gym. Mac, I won't forget about the gym. But yes, with autistic individuals, especially women, the rates of violence, all the different types of violence is much higher. It's much, much higher. So this is something that needs to be talked about more. And also for parents who have kids on the spectrum, the older your kid gets, depending on how old they are, these are all conversations that need to be had, and just kind of equipping your kids or your autistic friends with tools to help keep them safe. Oh, Melissa, this is a whole family over here. It's a whole family over here. And this was a dating live stream, but we always drift off into different topics. And today is back and biceps. So it's a pull day. Yesterday was push day. Today is back and biceps. Tomorrow is straight cardio. Then Thursday is leg day. I hate leg day, but I want to be Johnny Bravo, so I can't skip it. Stem cell is good for autism treatment. It could be. That's not, how I treat autism, but I've seen some people look into that. Um, oh, we did speak about RSD a little bit here and how that can be something that holds you back in dating. Dating is a numbers game. You find your person by going on more dates, exposing yourself to more people, and putting yourself out there more. And if you do that a lot, you will inevitably be denied. Like you'll experience some form of rejection. So knowing that rejection is just a part of it's a step on the road to success, as opposed to like the final nail in the coffin. Uh, that's a good way to look at it. Oh wow, look at this story right here. I'm not a squash person. I'm not a squash person. Shani, what's going on? Love you, Shani. Met your boyfriend. I met my boyfriend on Tinder. Drove 200 miles to a place that had no cell service to meet him. Wow. Oh, congratulations, Maria. Congrats. I mean, you took a shot here. You pulled up for a deep 3-pointer, but you sunk it. You made the shot. You made the shot. Right. Leg press all the way. I will do some of those Bulgarian split squats every now and then, but leg press, like leg press, and then I'll do my Stairmaster. The thing about legs is you just can't neglect legs. As long as you work your legs out and don't neglect it, then you won't end up being so top heavy. All right. That is a pretty nice love story. And RSD is rejection sensitive dysphoria. It's something that a lot of us struggle with, where we have a negative relationship with rejection. Not to say that anybody has a positive relationship with rejection, but we will go to great lengths to avoid rejection. We just don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. I don't go on a date in months, then I go on speed dates to catch. Hey, this is very neurodivergent, because sometimes you just don't want to be bothered by anybody, and then other times you have the energy to want to talk to people. All right, let me see. Let me check. Okay. So I'm having my promoter check on the tickets for the Nashville show. And the next show will be Thursday at 6-ish. 6-ish. Should be 6 o'clock California time, 9 o'clock New York time, 8 o'clock Nashville time, 7 o'clock Phoenix time, 6 o'clock Los Angeles time, 5 o'clock Alaska time, 4 o'clock Hawaii time. And all of those numbers, just add an ISH to it. 8-ish, 9-ish, 7-ish, 6-ish, 5-ish, 4-ish. So just keep that in mind. And also, I just want to say thank you so much for the people who have grabbed the tickets for these comedy shows in these 4 towns. Like I said, we start off in Houston, Texas on the 26th of April. The tickets are selling out. I mean, we've sold more tickets than we've ever sold on tour. So Houston, April 26th at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. I can't wait to see y'all there. I'll get to Houston a little bit early. I plan on checking out the Astros game that Friday, of the show. And then I'll also go to a comedy show to see what it looks like at that venue. And then Sunday night we'll be ready for the show. It's going to be an awesome show. And then for people who are in Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st at Zany's, that's going to be a great, great, great show. Lavita, that's a good idea to take the Monday off after the show. That's a good idea. So Nashville, Tennessee is May 31st, and the tickets are selling pretty good for that show as well. So I'm very excited to see y'all in Nashville. The next month, we're going to be in Chicago on the 18th of June. The week before, we're in New York City, June 11th, at Rodney's Comedy Club. Chicago is going to be the comedy bar. So these are going to be great, great shows. I won't pull up to the show late. Now, I have a problem sometimes getting to places on time, but the comedy show, I will be there early. People have paid good money to come out and, hang out with me and my crew from California. So I will be there early. Trust me, I will be there early. Alina on TikTok, I appreciate you. And Jess, Rochester, New York, I would love to come to Upstate. I would love to come to Upstate as well. I would love to come to Upstate New York. I think Rochester is Upstate New York. If it's not, then I apologize for being so bad at geography. But yeah, so those are the comedy shows. Link is in the bio for the tickets. And the next show that we have here will be Thursday night at 6 West Coast time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. And Rochester is in Upstate. Okay, I got it. So I'm not that bad at geography. And BT Helpful, I appreciate you. Your content has been life-changing. I appreciate you. And shout out to the algorithm that has placed the videos on your timeline, on your phone, whatever they're putting in the algorithm, whatever secret sauce. I appreciate it because it's allowed me to connect with people who have brains just like mine. And it's been one of the biggest blessings of my life. So I appreciate every single person in this community. I just want to say that. And I'm excited for not only the show on Thursday, but also next week's live streams and all the live streams leading up until the comedy shows and the ones after that. So, all right, guys, I got to head out, hop on this call, and then go. It's pool day. All right. Until the next live stream, y'all do your best to get some rest. Get some rest, all right? And I'll see y'all on the next show. Peace.